It is getting weird, y'all. And it's getting tougher to just pretend like there's not strange energy in the air when I know that there is. I could feel it, and even my body can feel it. My body is acting strange. I'm just more tired for some reason. I'm actually a little scared. Like, I'm a little nervous because it feel like we just going back in time, y'all. Like Roe v. Wade, DEI, all these things getting overturned. Government literally look like a fucking episode of Simpsons or something, or Family Guy, or Adult Swim. Job market, everybody struggling to get a job market suck ass. I don't know who said this quote, and I'm probably not even quoting this quote right, but it's like, I think it's Malcolm X. What is the world to a man if he gains the world but loses himself, or something like that? Pretty much, if the world around you is so fucked, what doesn't make it that you are the only person who is having a good time? Like, you the only person having a good time, and everything and everyone else around you is corrupt or is gone.
So first off, I with the burnout one and with overworking, of course, I am a Latina. I grew up in a community of amazing Black and brown families, and I tie it into my experience. Burnout is pervasive, and burnout is affecting, I think, way more Americans, male, female, however you identify, than we think. And there's a lot of different factors that go into that. So this one is a pervasive one, and overworking is a pervasive issue as well.
Shalom. I would like to give all honor, glory, and praises to YAHAWAH, BAHASHAM, YAHAWASHI, BAHASHAM, Rakakwadash. I would like to give double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone. Salutations to all you sincere Akim, pushing this word across the four corners of the world. Just another news update through the spirit, the power, and the vibration of YAHAWAH, BAHASHAM, YAHAWASHI. And as you just saw from those two opening videos of those two Israelite women just expressing their sentiment on this growing concern or issue currently going on within America. And that's that burnout, which is defined as a state of emotional, physical, and mental exhaustion caused by prolonged stress. Hence, the financial crisis that's currently going on within America with the tariffs, inflation, the cost of living, which is causing a lot of Americans to just give up and on that brink of collapse. And concerning the signs of our times, we are definitely within a near societal and financial collapse of this great whore, America, Babylon the Great. And just going back to that first video of Eve, when she was driving in her car, she was making some good points. Like, this American society is definitely weird nowadays, and it's a totally different energy out here. The rise of social anxiety, like more and more people are isolated, more people are impacted by these tariffs, the inflation, and right there alone, that causes a lot of social anxiety where you just don't want to be bothered. You'd rather deal with your problems on your own. And let's not even talk about the so-called food and the strange weather patterns. So yeah, it's definitely a different energy that's currently shifting throughout the earth right now. And this more so began right after this C-19 pandemic, which is why it stated within the book of Psalm 82:5, how all the foundations of the earth are out of course. Brought to you by YAHAWAH BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI's left hand. And that's the tabernacle of Esau Edom. And this all relates to end time biblical prophecies. And that takes me right to the book of Luke 21 verse 25. And there should be signs in the sun and in the moon and in the stars, and upon the earth distress of nations. And once you go into this word distress, it goes into straits, which is spelled S-T-R-A-I-T. And that's that position of difficulty. Like, a lot of people are within hardships, calamities, just financial jams by the economic squeeze that this cruel Lord is bringing upon them. Esau Edom, via Trump. And social media has become like the new coping mechanism of these people talking about their problems to the camera, to their audience or supporters, and just expressing their sentiments on what they're currently going through. And a lot of people within the comment boards are experiencing those same type of issues. And mind you, all of this is going on within the so-called state of normalcy. So how much more when this American society really breaks down? It's really going to be very chaotic and heartless out here. So again, and upon the earth, distress of nations with perplexity, which goes into by being confused or just being puzzled or baffled. That's due to the current condition of the earth. And this is the build-up to Isaiah 33:6, how wisdom and knowledge should be the stability of our times. It's not talking about the wisdom and the knowledge of this current fashion of the world. No, it's talking about the wisdom and the knowledge of YAHAWAH BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI, via having that spiritual eye salve, which is why YAHAWASHI stated, "Blessed are your eyes, for they see, and your ears, for they hear." Like we can literally see and hear the signs of our times, and where the vast majority of these people are currently in spiritual darkness. So with perplexity, which goes into confusion, and remember, America is that city of confusion. The sea and the waves roaring, verse 26, men's hearts failing them for fear and for looking after those things which are coming on the earth. And I always bring this out through the spirit. If men's hearts are feeling them like having heart attacks, stroking out, just giving up the spirit, then how much more the weaker vessel, which are you women? And a lot of you American women are definitely at ease right now, which is why it's stated within Jeremiah 49:31, "O wealthy nation that dwelleth without care." Because a lot of you Americans are prideful, entitled, and you do not take into consideration like what takes place within these other so-called third world countries, like with poverty, crimes, homelessness, and the list goes on, that these same dreadful measures will be at the forefront of your doors within America. Which is why you're seeing more and more of these Americans pouring out their souls to the internet of their hardships, whether it be work-related stress, family issues, personal finances, or even political concerns, or just being overall burnt out. So men's hearts failing them for fear and for looking after those things which are coming on the earth. So it's about to be some very dreadful, perilous times that's coming on this earth. All of these great occurrences, catastrophic events, great phenomena, YAHAWAH BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI is pouring out. And you can feel it in the spirit. It's a great impending judgment coming to this earth, and mainly hitting America, that great whore. And that's that main focal point of YAHAWAH BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI's judgment. And it says, "For the powers of heaven should be shaken." That's going into these elites, who are the ones that YAHAWAH BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI has set out on the left-hand side to bring forth these draconian measures upon the inhabitants of the earth. This great reset. Like these elites on the left-hand side mean when they say you will own nothing and be happy. And a lot of people within America are starting to feel the initial symptoms of this great reset that's soon approaching this earth. Which takes me right here to the article which highlights the point of this lesson. And this is from Forbes.com. And the title says, "Why American Workers Are Burnt Out and Exhausted." And this article was published on April the 16th, 2025. And just to recap right quick, like that burnout, again, is that state of emotional, physical, and mental exhaustion that's caused by excessive and prolonged stress. And where you have a substantial portion of Americans are experiencing burnout before the age of 30. And according to a recent survey, you had 25% of Americans that are experiencing burnout before turning 30, especially concerning Generation Z and millennials. And they have been reporting peak stress in an average age of 25, which is all due to the byproduct of the pandemic, which is why a lot of people are experiencing this weird energy that's transpiring throughout the earth, especially here within America. And it says right here, American workers are worn down stuck in a cycle of exhaustion that saps their energy and drive. Burnout is a pervasive state of physical and emotional depletion. This is brought in part about by long periods of constant, unabated, and unrelenting stress. It makes people feel beaten up, weak, dejected, inadequate, and like an absolute failure. These pent-up feelings adversely impact aspects of your life, both in and outside of the workplace. It's an all too common problem that many suffer from, regardless of their profession and income level. According to a new research survey from recruiting firm Robert Half of nearly 2,000 professionals in the U.S., 36% report feeling burnt out at work, and 33% say they are more burnt out now than 1 year ago. Burnout goes beyond the occasional tough day at work. It's a chronic condition. The signs include relentless exhaustion, a growing sense of cynicism, and a nagging feeling that their efforts don't matter. For many, it manifests as stress-induced ailments like headaches or emotional struggles such as anxiety tied to workplace pressures. Fear of job loss. A major source of this strain is the fear of losing your job in a tough job market. Layoffs in sectors like federal employment and industries tangled in trade disruptions have left workers uneasy. The specter of AI, automation, economic slowdowns, or sudden policy shifts pushes many to overwork in an attempt to prove their worth. The result, unfortunately, is that they found themselves more drained. This anxiety creates a vicious cycle where the harder workers push, the closer they edge toward collapse. About 4 in 5 workers fear losing their jobs this year, according to a survey of 1,115 employees in the U.S. by My Perfect Resume. The survey revealed that 76% anticipate more layoffs this year, while 63% expect more business closures versus 2024, and 90% fear a recession could be on the way. What leads to burnout? Economic turbulence, particularly from recent tariffs, adds another layer of stress. New levies on imports from countries like Canada, Mexico, and China have sent ripples through industries relying on global supply chains. Manufacturing and retail workers, in particular, face unpredictable demands as business grapple with rising costs. For workers, this translates to a precarious environment where job security feels like a moving target. Inflation, too, is squeezing workers from all sides. The rising cost of essentials such as housing, groceries, healthcare has outpaced wage growth for many, eroding purchasing power and stretching family budgets to the breaking point. Families are left worrying about how to keep up, a constant financial strain that follows them into the workplace. While corporate profits have soared, workers see little relief, fostering a sense of unfairness that deepens their frustration. So to highlight this right here, the first sentence, inflation too is squeezing workers from all sides. And this is all brought to you by the man of sin, Esau Edom, and more so the elites of them, and they have a system that they go by, which is called the Hegelian dialectic, pressure from above and pressure from below. And that's due to these draconian measures that they are implementing upon the inhabitants of the world. And a lot of people are feeling that economic squeeze. And we're within a day of time where people cannot retire because they cannot afford to, which is why you're seeing more elderly people being greeters at stores like Lowe's, Walmart, or even Costco's. Yeah, that's because wages are not keeping up with inflation. And that's really the whole essence of the problem right now, what people are going through, finances. And that's intentionally drowning the so-called middle class, which is all aligned to the path to the left-handed NWO. Remember, it's stated within Revelation 13 and 16 how he, referring to the higher ups of Esau Edom, cause it all. And by causing, they're getting everybody receptive to this new AI governance beast system, where everything will be digitized, hence the microchip. So he calls it all, both small and great, rich, and poor. Notice it doesn't mention anything about the so-called middle class, because very soon the American middle class will be wiped away from out the economic class system. And this is all done by design. And we all witnessed the economic impact during the pandemic upon these moms and pop stores who are considered as middle class. And a lot of businesses back then, they never bounced back from that. And the C-19 pandemic, that's the precursor to the implementation of the MOTB. So if that one component alone caused that major effect upon these middle class workers, then how much more when they digitize everything via the implementation of the MOTB? And where you middle class Americans are already running off of fumes. And that's because a substantial amount of you Americans are experiencing burnout. And that takes me right to Isaiah 24:7 within the NLT, and that's a New Living Translation. The grapevines waste away, and there is no new wine. All the merry makers sigh and mourn. And this is all in line to how the city of confusion, referencing to America, is being broken down. Like people being in that merry-hearted, joyful Bacchus spirit, that spirit of mirth and happiness is being extracted from this American society right now. And I just came across an article earlier how Las Vegas right now, they are plunging in tourism. Their tourism numbers are down. In their airport, which is the Harry Reid International Airport, they're also down on domestic flights, like 4% within the first half of 2025, compared to last year. And where the locals there are worrying about it. And that's because a decline in tourists, that means less income for the workers, especially within the industries as hospitality and entertainment. And mind you, Las Vegas is self-proclaimed as Sin City, which ultimately highlights the vibration of America as a whole, the sinful kingdom. And this is a city that's known for its vibrant nightlife, busy streets, and also flashy casinos. So again, the grapevines waste away, and there is no new wine. All the merry makers sigh and mourn. And that takes me right to 2 Ezra 15. I'm gonna jump down on this one. And this is within the GNT, Good News Translation. And as you can see from the heading, the coming disasters. And the word disaster goes into a grave misfortune or like a catastrophic occurrence or event. Again, these end time biblical prophecies. And that takes me to 2 Ezra 15. I'll jump down to verse 10. My people, referring to you Israelites, are being led to the slaughter like a flock of sheep. And that's because a lot of our people are subscribing to the God of this world, Esau, Edom. And again, we saw that participation of the vast majority of our people when the prelude of the MOTB came out, with the C-19 pandemic. A lot of people got in line to take you know what. We see the aftermath of our people's rash decisions and disobedience. So a lot of our people are for the God of this world. Like they already compromised by the image of the beast. So therefore, how much more when he implements this MOTB system, which is the mark of the beast? And it says they will no longer have to live in Egypt. And again, Egypt is another codified name for America. I will use all my strength and power to bring them out of that land. So back and forth time, the Heavenly Father, Yahawah, used YAHAWASHI, which was that angel, to deliver the Israelites out from Egypt and on to the wilderness. So fast forward to nowadays, how nothing is new under the sun. That same angel, YAHAWASHI, is going to deliver those same Israelites, but more so the elect of them out of the new Egypt, again, America. And it says, I will bring disasters upon the Egyptians. And we are witnessing this aspect of the scriptures right now. A lot of these powerful Americans are experiencing hardships, calamities, and just in pure distress, whether it be physical, mental, or financial. As I did earlier, and I would destroy their country. The whole land will be in mourning. Look at the state of America right now. a lot of these people are not within that happy-go-lucky spirit. And you're seeing more and more of these Americans upload videos on social media, how they are stressed out, whether it be financially or just work-related stress, and they're giving up. They're on that brink of collapse. And that sentiment alone is causing more and more Americans to become crash outs. And that's because we are within that informational age where everything's coming out to the forefront. Everything's coming out to the light, like YAHAWAH BAHASHAM prophesied it to be within these end times. So a lot of these people are finding out like who's orchestrating all this economic straits and woes or burdens upon the inhabitants of the world. And what they call the so-called 1%, who are really the elites on the left-hand side, mainly from the tabernacle of Esau, Edom. And they're even calling out the Ish people, the small hats. And you can see through the spirit that all this tension, stress, anxiety, all that pressure is boiling or brewing up to an impending civil war within America. Like, it's going to get very, very chaotic out here. So again, the whole land will be in mourning. It will be shaken to its foundations when I, the Lord YAHAWAH BAHASHAM Yahushai, strike it and pound on it. And again, we are seeing YAHAWAH BAHASHAM Yahushai doing that from a mental, spiritual, and also a financial perspective. But how so within a physical perspective or aspect? That's going to be by those nuclear missiles within the next world's war, World War III, pursuant to Isaiah 24:20, how the earth shall reel to and fro like a drunkard. And only nuclear capability can be able to fulfill this end time prophecy right here. And that concludes the lesson through the spirit. Again, why American workers are burnt out and exhausted. And that's by the hand of that cruel Lord when you read Isaiah, the 19th chapter. Esau, Edom, by the way of Donald Trump. And these draconian executive orders are going to continue to get more harsher and more stricter upon you Americans. And it's getting to that breaking point concerning these Americans, and they be saying how life is lifing, like they on the edge of giving up. And mind you that these people are not anchored in YAHAWASHI, which comes with a whole spiritual perspective. So when these people reach that breaking point, they are liable to do anything, like unalive their families, friends, co-workers, or even themselves. And we're going to witness more of that within the days to come. And that's because the love of many is going to wax cold. Like these are the signs of our times. And we, as the hopeful elect that have that spiritual eye salve, we supposed to walk in wisdom toward them that are without. Like move like YAHAWASHI will move. And that's because once these Americans run out those little fumes that they still have, they're going to burn out. And after that, they are definitely going to become crash outs. They're going to be very lawless. So with that, hopefully you all is edified, you all stay strong, keep pushing forward. Shalom.